joined by Chris Thompson now on Run 247. Thanks for talking to us, Chris. Last year, I believe I got this right, was your debut in marathon.
Yep, that's correct.
Very strong performance first time out. We've known you more as a track runner, plenty of medals on the track. So what was it like as a first marathon experience? What were the key learning points you got from that?
It was, it was incredible in a lot of different ways. Obviously, being an elite athlete on the track, it didn't make physically running 26 miles, 26.2, any less daunting, just as an event. And so it was a very proud moment to have even actually run a marathon, first and foremost. And obviously, being in London, it was an incredible spectacle. As a performance, it was something that I didn't take it for granted that I was just going to step into the event and run incredibly well, because you see enough athletes with great 10k and 5k times, and half marathon for that matter, not quite convert. So I was very aware, and I thought I put together a training block that was relatively good. There were things that went wrong and things weren't going right, and I went into it with an open mind, and I think that kind of helped me when I was running it, accept that things were not going to feel great and things not going to go right, and I just tried to enjoy it as much as I was trying to get a good performance. And 2:11.19 was solid. It was about where, you know, I'd hope in the ballpark of where I'd be to think I've got a career in this. And you certainly don't run your fastest marathon first time out, and you certainly don't in the way that I was prepared for it, and hopefully it's going to be the benchmark to move on to bigger and better things.
So you talked about that track career. Obviously, you amongst the medals, you got the silver medal in the European Champs, I think 2010.
Yeah.
Longer term, is the marathon where you see your sort of future, you know, in years to come in terms of your elite performance?
Yeah, I mean, it's last summer you had the European and the Commonwealth outdoors, and I saw it potentially as a bit of a signing off to the track and moving to the roads, as a kind of a bit of a cut-off. But I think on reflection and the fact injury prevented me running in both those events, I will be looking towards the road, and I will be looking towards potentially Rio Marathon next year, hopefully, depending on qualifications, blah 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 blah, and obviously you've got London 2017. That's where I'm leaning towards, but until I actually go ahead and make the final commitment of the plan, and you can still have a track career while you're doing the road. I mean, Paula Rancourt proved that. I mean, she ran her world record in London and then ran huge PBs in the summer on the track, and so later that year. So I still see myself as a bit of a track runner, but I think road is going to be becoming more and more the area which I'll concentrate. And certainly London last year provided me with enough information ammo to think, you know, an average medal winning performance at any Olympics is around 2:10:30 something. And when you think about that, and you think about the fact if you can prepare as good as anyone else, and if I can shave off another minute to a minute and a half off my time in the marathon, it's not unrealistic to think that there are medals up for grabs in an Olympic environment. The big city marathons are very, very different, but when you look at the Olympics and you look at the way they break down, you're up against only 3 from each country. Things can go wrong, and you don't have another necessarily from the same country backing up someone having a bad day. You saw
no
London,
pacemakers potentially.
no pacemakers. Conditions in Rio could be very unpredictable. All these different things, and so when you think of that, makes me quite excited at the prospect that when I look at a 10,000 on the track at London 2012, or going on to Rio, I look at it and think, what are my chances compared to, say, a marathon? And that's how I've got to think.
And also looking at your track times and trying to do the forecasting of what your potential is. I mean, you know, you're sort of low 13s for 5k. I think it's sub 27:30 from memory. 10k, 61 or so minutes half marathon. Obviously, the speed and the potential is there. And I had a conversation with Steve Jones a couple of days ago, and one of the things he was saying was, he felt that athletes were moving to the marathon too quick, not getting those times. In his view, that's what was needed. And if you look at, for example, what he was doing 30 years ago and his times, their times that you've got are bettered at those lower distances. So it does sort of augur well for certainly your potential physically of what you could do in the future.
Hopefully, and I think that was something, even going back quite a few years, I thought one day I want to try a marathon, but I was very mindful I didn't want to go too soon, because marathon runners tend to have a career going into their mid to late 30s, and I thought I don't want to be trying to run my fastest marathon at 28. I want to do it potentially when my body physically will potentially peak later on. And so you're absolutely right, I felt like I wanted to get as much out of the track. I still think there's things I could have run quicker over certain distances, but you're always going to feel like that, I think, when it comes to running. But I certainly feel like I've run enough sub 13:20 from like 13:11, and I've run under 13:30 a couple of times, half marathons, 61 flat, which I think it was 60:59, we won't go into that. So I mean, there's enough there, ammo hopefully, to then go on. And when we've done the physiological testing in the labs, the kind of predictive times I've got coming out, the computer's given me information that's very exciting and a potential that is very, it's worth going into it with a mindset of I'm going to run 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 marathons, and hopefully they can get quicker and quicker and get down to a sort of time that maybe Steve ran. And if I can get anywhere near that, I'll be over the moon. And believe me, I'm as committed to try and do that as any athlete, and certainly what I've done on the track gives me the confidence to think if I can convert it, anything's possible.
One of the things that I know has held you back sort of relatively consistently for your career is you've had a number of injuries, and you've always sort of been able to bounce back, and it always feels like you're ready to take the next step and something else will come along. Do you think potentially moving to the marathon, will that make that easier or harder injury-wise? Because I always sometimes think that maybe some of those injuries, and I see it in my sport, triathlon, the guys doing the really short distances, the speed work and the track stuff is so intense, maybe that's where the injuries come from, not so much just from the additional miles, that you're already doing a lot of miles anyway. What's your sort of thoughts on that?
I mean, obviously when I said I was going to run London, a lot of athletes said, or a lot of people said, with your injury kind of history, but I never really, I mean, for me, injuries have been part of this sport. Unfortunately, it's been part of my makeup, to the point where I almost take it as part of the parcel of what comes with it. If I delve a bit deeper and think about the reasons and blah blah blah, I feel like a lot of them potentially were because of the intensity, and obviously with marathon running, it's more of the volume so much than the intensity. And certainly when it came to London, I had niggles, but they never came to the forefront, and that potentially was because I didn't have the level of intensity in there like I would do for the track. And I know before London 2012, when I was preparing for the 10K, I was in phenomenal shape, and I was literally just on this fine knife edge of just real top end kind of 5-10k optimum potential, and I tilted over and I fractured my back, and you kind of look at that and you think, well, if I was running in a marathon I wouldn't have that level of intensity, it would be volume, but would that have happened? Possibly not. So I don't know, I'm always trying to make myself as robust as possible, but unfortunately I think for me I've got probably the engine of a Ferrari but the framework of a Morris Minor, I guess. It's just, I mean, when you look, and that's one of my issues, like, because the physiological breakdown, when you look at it, my engine and the way internally my body is like capable of doing a lot more than my framework, and you can only make yourself so robust, and I don't feel the niggles until it's too late, possibly because I'm a bit not really upstairs, I'm just too aggressive, I don't know. But would I have got the success without? Possibly not. And you see a lot of the greats, like Paula's had to manage a lot of issues and she still come away with great stuff, and I'm hoping my best year's ahead of me. And that Kelly Holmes missed, between her medals at the Olympics, had a lot of injuries. It's very rare that people go through their whole career without something, and to a certain extent it's like, well, it's Is it part of it, or is it stupidity? I don't know. But I'm trying my best to be as robust as possible, and I'm hoping the marathon might offer a potential to have less issues and less risk for me.
Well,
with only time will tell.
Yeah, well, you certainly made a good first debut last year. It's been great to talk to you. Hopefully, maybe a year's time, we may be having the same conversation again, possibly with you due to run, or maybe even planning for Rio. But look forward to watching your marathon career, and hopefully we will be able to see what is obvious potential, and actually to see that realised will be great, not just for you but for the rest of British athletics really. So best of luck with that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you.